Hey guys, how's it going? This is JJJBoxing. Welcome to the channel. Today I want to talk about Francis Ngannou. We all know he's fighting Tyson Fury October 28th in Saudi Arabia in a 10-round fight. It's a huge event, and he'll be making around $10 million. Now, I want to talk about his backstory, because his backstory is very interesting. It's very inspiring. So it's Francis Ngannou has had a tough life. Is like literally that's to say the least. A lot of fighters in the sport of boxing and in MMA and in anything in life, when they reach this kind of level, usually come from adversity, and Francis Ngannou's no exception. So it all started back in the day when he was a kid. So his family was poor. His mom had to worry about what food she was going to put on the table, what clothes she was going to put on their back, if they had shoes to wear, and it was a tough upbringing. And on top of that, when he was a kid, he remembered when he would always be looking around, looking at his dad, and his dad actually got sick when he was a kid. He was sick for months, and they couldn't even send him to the hospital to get treatment because they just didn't have the money. And what happened was when he was just a kid, his dad finally passed away at his house. He seen it in front of him, and it could have been prevented. They just didn't have the medical care. They never took him to the hospital because they just couldn't afford it. And he just remembers feeling so powerless at that moment, and there was nothing he could do. So as the years went on, he decided, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can so this stuff can never happen again. So he started his journey in Cameroon, is where he grew up. And so he had to walk 6 miles to his school every day. So it started there, his tough life. He had to walk 6 miles to school. Like, that's just nuts. And obviously his mom, they had barely any food, no clothes. And that's when he started thinking, okay, I need to do something about like bringing income to the house. So he actually worked at I think it was like a sand salt mine, digging sand in mines at 10 years old. And so as he got older, he left Cameroon and he went to through Niger and Algeria before reaching Morocco in a pickup truck. He finally immigrated to Spain by water, only to be rejected many times. And he was living in Moroccan forests for a little bit, which is crazy. So he finally got into Spain, but then the police detained him actually for 2 months. But he finally got out of there, and he snuck on a train and went to France. And that's when his MMA career began. In France, Paris is where he ended up. But the adversity didn't stop there. He was homeless on the streets of Paris now, but he was looking for a boxing gym. He had a dream in mind. He wanted to become powerful and wealthy enough so he could help his family when they were in need. So when someone was sick, he could help them. And that his dad passing away really inspired him. So he found a gym. He met a trainer, Fernand Lopez. Lopez actually convinced him to take up MMA instead of boxing because he knew his financial situation. He told Ngannou that MMA was a quicker way to make immediate cash quicker. So he rose up the ladder, and he finally landed a UFC contract. Now, after all that adversity, what pushed him over the edge was the father passing away. when he decided I need to do more than just these odd jobs and just what I'm doing is not working. I need to go. I need to do something special. So he became an MMA fighter. He rose up to become heavyweight champion of the world, and now the highest payday he made was £500,000, which is equivalent to I think like 800,000 US or Canadian anyway. With his clash with Gane in 2022 for the heavyweight title. So he finally separated with the UFC. He's now with the Professional Fighters League, PFL, because he just... UFC doesn't pay that great compared to other organizations, to be honest, compared to other sports. And I guess he had enough with that UFC. But now he is fighting Tyson Fury for $10 million on October 28th. And it's funny because I didn't know a lot about Ngannou until now. He's always wanted to be a boxer. That was his main dream, to become secure enough financially to help his family. It was through boxing, not MMA. But now it's come full circle. He can now finally support his family with more than enough. He's going to be making 10 mil, and he says it's so hard to believe that he's at this moment that he went from table scraps to literally can get anything he want. He recently put his nephew in the highest level school, just bought a house for him. So he looks back at his struggles and he just thinks like, wow, like what a life he's had. And he actually he can't even believe it, how serious this Tyson Fury match is. The fact that he has Mike Tyson in his corner, and he says that's how you know it's a serious thing. It's a serious fight, and that brings me even more motivation to do good in the fight. So you gotta love Francis Ngannou's backstory here. I felt the sadness when you like we all hear stories about, they fight to put food on the table, they can't buy clothes, right? It's a hard upbringing, but the fact that his father died at home with them and they could have saved him, but they couldn't because they didn't have money, that touches the heart there. Like, that really hits hard. And to see him come this far, you want to root for him for sure. Now, does he have a chance against Tyson Fury? He has a slim chance. He's a great athlete. He's training very hard for it. He's got that fire in him, but he's going up against one of the best heavyweight boxers of all time. He's not going up against a regular boxer. But I gotta say, it makes you want to root for him when you see his backstory. Like, you makes him want him to win this. But just what a life story, guys. Francis Ngannou, he's definitely an inspiration. And this is Triple J Boxing. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening.